Hello, you guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Device Diaries. Today is episode 29. Happy New Year to everyone. I hope you guys had a great holiday. So today's topic, I kind of made it a little bit obvious because we are just getting back from the holidays. So I titled today New Year's resolution: how to start your year with a bang. Right? It's the most cliche, obvious thing that I can talk about in today's podcast. Today is episode 29 of the Device Diaries, where we navigate the day in the life of a medical device rep. Okay, so let's just talk about this for a second. And I feel like, you know, I feel like I've really well, first of all, I am so happy that I get to record with you guys beginning of January. I'm so happy that we get to talk again. I know I miss you guys. I haven't recorded in a couple of weeks, but I did that on purpose because I really just needed to basically, enjoy the holidays. And I feel like for you guys, I really hope that you took the time to enjoy it with your family and your loved ones. I think it's really important, during those times to be present. And for me, I really tried to be as present as I can, and really enjoying every moment with my loved one. And yeah, so today we're back, you guys. I mean, back to work, right? Unfortunately, that's just how the world works. Okay, so beginning of the year, it can create a lot of tension and stress, especially if you guys haven't really, you're still trying to figure out how you're gonna hit your quota, right, in sales. It creates a lot of stress because now you're kind of revamping. And when I talk about revamping, you're kind of reshaping your styles. You're kind of trying to figure out what worked and what didn't work. And I think for those of you guys, I think it's really important, whether you're selling medical devices or selling cars. It's really, really important that you have to be able to understand what works and what doesn't work. Okay, so since I titled this episode New Year's resolution: how to start your year with a bang, I think what would like to talk about first is mindset. Okay, mindset reprogramming. And what does that look like? Okay, so I obviously invested a lot in myself as far as like, reading books, personal development. If you guys are not doing it, you guys are missing out. Talk about like, reshaping your talk tracks. Talk about really helping you with, I mean, for me personally, I read a lot because it helps me with my English. Okay, English is my second language. For those of you who doesn't know that, I'm actually originally from the Philippines. I moved here when I was 18 years old, and I, you know basically my whole life, it's always been like, what's next, what's new, what do I need, what can I do to better myself as a person. Okay, and a lot of times it really starts with your mindset. Like, how do you reprogram your brain? What do you do the first thing you wake up in the morning? And for those of you guys are wondering, as far as like how I do it, I wake up, I read the Bible, and then I post something. Like, I wake up really, really early. I wake up at 5. Okay, and then I would meditate. Okay, if you guys don't know how to meditate, maybe that's something you can look up. There's a lot of YouTube videos available out there that talks about meditation. And then I practice gratitude. Okay, so I give myself a lot of space in the morning to really reprogram my mindset, because it's so easy. It's so easy because of the news, social media, you name it. It's so easy for your mind to get corrupted over silly stuff. Okay, and you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm not going to elaborate because that's not what this is about. What this is about is this: you guys need to learn how to reprogram your mindset. So what does that do? What does that do what does that do in your life? Well, it not only allows you to be calm. All right, so I don't know about you guys, but the times that I was stressed out, the times that I was nervous, I do silly stuff in sales. I say things that are just, you won't land right, unfortunately, because I'm just like, huffing and puffing, trying to like get the features and benefits out of the way. um and the times that was actually calm, those are the times that I sealed the deal, because it allows me to be a little bit more present. It allows me to put my customer first. Like, look at their body language, look at their tone, listen to their tonality of their voice. Are they intimidated? Are they, almost like taken aback? Maybe you have too much energy. Okay, so for those of you guys, all right, and gals, I really sometimes they talk about like, you gotta be energized in sales. A lot of times, the times that I actually landed the best deal are during the times I was very, very calm. Okay. So energy, having a lot of energy doesn't always equate to sales. Sometimes you just have to kind of be able to read the room and look at the reaction of the person you're trying to sell to. So if there's something that you guys can take notes, I'm going to give you guys some tips towards the end of this podcast. I like to keep this podcast under 30 minutes because I'm by myself talking to myself. And as much as I love talking, I prefer to have a guest. So, but I wanted to do a couple, maybe 3, maybe 4 intimate videos for you guys of just so you guys can get to know me and my background, my passion, my mission, why I started the Device Diaries. I think it's really, really important, especially for this new year. And hopefully, you guys can take something away from this. Again, as far as we, as much as we talk about navigating the world of med device sales, sales is sales, you guys. So it doesn't matter what industry you're in. It doesn't matter if you're freaking selling a pen or selling an equipment. It's the same thing. All right. So here's the first tip I'm going to give you guys. Okay. So first tip I'm going to give you is reprogram your mindset, right? We just talked about it. What does that entail is whether it's yoga, meditation, working out, whatever that looks like for you, you have to be able to wake up every morning and have somewhat of a routine that allows you to reprogram your mindset. Okay. Number 2, geez, you guys, you have to be able to understand the sales process. And what does that look like? You have to be able to pivot when things are not working out. And a lot of that involves experience. A lot of that involves really like not quitting when the moment, when the going gets tough, it's figuring out other ways to go around it. So don't just quit. Don't just give up. I feel like for me, my whole life, I've really, really taken a lot of notes as far as like, okay, this didn't work. Okay, let's try this approach, right? Because there's no perfect science. Okay, sales is not linear, you guys, and because you're dealing with people. Okay, and people have emotions, and people have their ways of buying whatever. If you guys haven't read books about like people that are advanced tend to buy this, people that are old school tend to be this, people that like to follow the expert tend to buy like this. So you guys need to understand your customers' buying patterns, behavior, right? And a huge part of that is for you to figure out your own first, okay? For you to learn how to reprogram, for you to learn how to operate under stress, okay? The times that it was very, very stressful for me. Whatever it is I'm trying to get, those are the times that actually killed it. Okay, because I know how to reprogram. All right, so reprogram. Understand your customers' buying patterns, behavior. Are they innovative? What does that mean? So for those that are innovators, they're the first ones that can buy. Those are the people that every time a freaking iPhone comes out, they're the first ones at the store because they're innovators, right? And then there's laggers. There's people are just like, I'm not sure. I'm kind of jaded over this. It's too much work to even upgrade or maybe move to a different device that's pretty much doing the same thing. It's just some people are like that, and there are ways to approach that. All right. And then there's followers, you guys, people that like, okay, I look up to Gaida, so I'm gonna buy whatever Gaida buys. But until Gaida buys this specific item, I will just kind of like back off and watch the behavior, watch her buying patterns, and watch if she does it because I see her as an expert in this space. Okay. So, and there's a lot more, you guys. I feel like there's so many sales books about understanding people, and you can ask the best salesperson, CEO, CFOs of the world. One thing they have in common is this: they understand people, they understand buying patterns, they understand behavior, and they know how to pivot when things doesn't work. Okay, so I think I've dropped 2 tips already. Okay, so we're gonna go for it, you guys. You have plenty of time. You get to have me by myself today. Today is episode 29 of the Device Diaries, where we navigate the world of med device sales. Today's title is New Year's resolution, right? I kept it pretty obvious. How to start your year with a bang. Okay, so I'm a planner. And if you guys don't know how to plan, I really don't know how you're doing it in sales. Okay. So every Monday, so this is exactly what I do. So Sundays, I typically just keep very quiet, very low key. I don't go out, don't do anything, read my book, watch a movie, go to bed early, right? Because I want to be super prepared Monday. So Monday, for those of you guys, you probably are like, yeah, Monday's kind of rough sometimes. It does. It is, right? It is kind of rough. So that's why for those of you who's like, Monday is just gonna be a chill day for me because I need to refresh my brain or recharge my brain, whatever that looks like for you. But really, I really encourage you guys to use Monday as a day to where you can write down how your week is gonna go. It doesn't have to be a full work day, okay? Doesn't have to be it, but it has to. It has to. You got to have a plan. You got to have a plan. All right. And if you guys don't understand how to create a plan, maybe buying a planner is for you. There's a lot of books out there that you can buy that literally tells you exactly what to do every day. So, and don't get okay. So don't get lost on the things that you can control right now. Okay. Yes, I know when we put something on paper as far as a plan goes, and it's always not going to go the way you expect it to. I've made so many plans before that didn't go the way I expect. I wouldn't say went bad because there's no such thing as going bad, right? Because I feel like every day that you go out there, every day that you put yourself out there is a chance for you to be a better person, not just a salesperson, but just a better person, a better individual, right? You're putting yourself out there, you're being bold, you're being brave, you're being tenacious, okay? And I think for me, that's one thing that I've always kind of implemented in my life. I mean, I was just talking to my mom and my sister the other day, and they're basically saying how tenacious I am growing up as a little girl, and I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud that I am the way I am because I don't know how you can be in sales, right? If you're not, can't be a quitter in sales, unfortunately. When the plan doesn't work, don't beat yourself up. You just kind of make a new plan, right? The great thing about sales planning, you guys, and sales strategies, right? So it's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to be one size fits all, okay? But you guys have to have a direction of where you're going. How are you going to achieve your quota? How is this year going to look like for you? And for me personally, um, you know, I'm already planning for next year. Okay. That's just how my brain works. Okay. I'm looking at my pipeline and I'm like, okay, what's next year? What does that look like? And how do I hit my quota? Right. And for you guys, I think it's really, really important not to, I recommend this to you old salespeople. Don't push it to the last minute. Don't be one of those procrastinators. I'm just like, I'm just gonna be lazy until holy crap, I have 3 months left. How am I gonna hit my quota? And then you start freaking out and doing stupid stuff. That's what people I've seen this before, so I know. Okay, so what I highly recommend is 6 months into your uh, I don't know fiscal year, you kind of have to be planning for next year. And because if you don't, it's too late. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. 6 months into your fiscal year, you're going to have to be planning for next year, sales, how you're going to hit your quota, what's going to be in your pipeline. Okay, because if you don't, yeah, might as well find another job. Just kidding. Don't give up, you guys. Don't give up. This is why I created this podcast, because I really want to inspire you guys, kind of help you, guide you in the direction of like, how do I start my year? I have a very specific way of how I start my day. And again, like going back to make sure you guys are taking care of your mind, make sure you understand programming, understand your customers' behavior, learn how to pivot, have a freaking plan. I mean, those are 4 things I've already given you guys. And I think I don't want to make it too extreme and complicated. But all I know is this, okay? The only thing you can control in this world is what you do every day. You can't control the outcome, you can't control the future. So what are you doing every day that's going to lead you to your goal? Whether it's making the extra phone call, or whether it's sending the extra email, or maybe waking up an hour early, or maybe today, Gaida, today I'm going to wake up, I'm going to meditate, I'm going to work out, I'm going to work, I'm going to get through all my emails, I'm going to call 3 customers today, and then I'm going to end with emails and then go to bed early so tomorrow I can do more, and And for me, that's exactly what I do every day. Okay. Not every day is going to go perfect. I wish it was, but that's just not life. And I know this for a fact because I have, I've been through a lot, 42 years of just up and down, left and right, you name it, like like a freaking tornado. Sorry, I didn't mean to curse, but it is my podcast, so I can pretty much do whatever I want. Uh, and it is me talking to you guys today. It is a tornado, right? So it's like up and down, left and right, you name it. And I think one thing that sets me apart out of everything that happened in my life is my ability to figure out a solution. Okay. As a salesperson, our job is not to word vomit features and benefits. Our job is to offer a solution. Now, what does that mean? Okay. All right, guys, write this down right now because I'm giving you guys so much value right now. And I hope you're taking notes and I hope this is motivating you. So our job as a salesperson is not to throw products at our customers. Okay. That's what your competitors do, not you. What you do is this. You gotta have to figure out how to offer a solution. Well, how do you offer a solution? You gotta have to find out what the problem is first. Okay. Because you won't be able to offer the solution if you don't know what the problem is. And every single buyer, write this down, will have views on the way they look at things. Okay. So if you don't understand your customer avatar, you guys need to go sales 101. I don't know. So every single avatar, so I look at them as avatars. Okay. They have different problems. So you have to be able to speak to them differently. Not every person that I talk to in sales, I have the same script. Depending on what their role is in the hospital or what they care about, I change the way I talk to them, right? And if you guys don't understand that, maybe maybe have your manager mentor you right now of understanding different avatars. Because I feel like, the most successful salesperson are people that can actually read other people and energy and all that stuff. So a lot of times, I think for those of you guys who are just starting or learning about sales, I think the big thing that you need to realize is that you got to listen. You got to know how to listen because your customer is going to tell you exactly what they want. All right. But they tell it to you like in the beginning of the conversation. And if you're so focused on what you're trying to sell them, you're going to miss it. You're going to miss it. And what does that do? You're going to miss the sale. You're going to miss the opportunity. You're probably going to miss the business or the referral or whatever that looks like. There's a lot of things. It's a process, right? And for me, I think understanding my customers and really putting them first and really listening to their needs. And even before leaving the meeting, making sure that they basically have whatever it is that they need information-wise, putting them at ease. So think about as a partner, right? When you meet someone new, right? You kind of want to put them at ease so they can open up to you, so they can be vulnerable, right? And that's exactly how I like to run my business and my personal life. And what that does is just allows for a better relationship in the future if the two of you, you and your customer, your lover, whatever that looks like for you, are being honest, right? So honesty is huge when it comes to this business. Reputation is huge. It is a small world. Everybody knows everybody. So for me, I've really practiced what I preach. Okay, so anything that you guys hear from my podcast, I really do. And it's really important that you guys hear it from my voice. And I'm glad we're having this conversation. I know it's been a minute since I recorded by myself, and I plan on doing so probably a few more episodes just so I can tell you guys who I am and what I do and why I love what I do. And I am very happy to be with you guys today. It is the brand new year 2025. And I really hope, and I really hope that you guys use this to maybe either be a better person or change whatever didn't work last year. The great thing about New Year's, the great thing about New Year's resolution, right, is having the chance to start all over. Okay, meaning like all of the things that didn't work out last year, maybe let that go and start over. And what does starting over looks like? Maybe that's planning for you. Maybe, I don't know, relocating. Maybe that's finding a different job, maybe whatever that looks like for you. Okay. So that's the good thing about the New Year's. Now, for my sales fellow Meddevice people, I really want to stress, doesn't matter how long you've been doing this, doesn't matter how experienced you are, doesn't matter if you have 20, 26, 30 years of experience. We're all, you know, you never stop learning. Okay. So for my seasoned reps, what I recommend is really find ways to learn a new skill, whatever that looks like for you. Whether it's public speaking, whether it's podcasting, whether it's whether posting stuff on LinkedIn, whether it's whatever that looks like. And I think a lot of times, they always say you can't teach old dogs new tricks, right? Because we're so freaking stubborn. But I really challenge you guys, seasoned reps, to really just learn something new. There are a lot of ways to sell now. There's that video, script that you can do. You can send video messages to customers. That's what social media allowed. And I think for you guys, and I mean this, in the most loving way, because it is January and it's how to start a year with a bang. I think you guys need to be open to learning about social media. Okay, I say this with love, and I know not everybody's social media guru, whatever. I'm not. I'm always learning. But one thing I'm not doing is I'm not sitting back and not doing anything about it, because for me, if you're not learning, might as well be dead, right? So my whole life, I've always been so ambitious. I've always been so, how do I hone in the skill? How do I become a better public speaker? How do I become better at my job? How do I become a better partner? Like, what can I do to be better, to improve? And for you guys, old dogs, learn new tricks. You should never stop learning whatever it is that you're doing, whatever avenue, whatever career it is that you have right now. It doesn't even have to be sales. It could be something else. Okay. So today's episode 29, I hope you guys find this very valuable. I'm just going to do a quick summary of what we talked about. So we talked about, how do you start your year with a bang? Well, number one, you gotta have to learn how to reprogram your mind, whether that's gratitude, whether that's meditation, whether that's walking, working out, whatever that looks like for you. Because what that does, it allows you to start your day calm, collected. And when you're calm and collected, that's when you can think clearer, listen, harder, whatever, listen more to your customers. And it allows you to not beat around the bush and just like kind of like, okay, I already figured out what your problem is. Here's the solution, and here's how we're gonna do this. Okay, so that's number one. Mindset reprogramming is huge. Whatever that looks like for you. For those of you who probably like to sleep in, maybe waking up an hour earlier so you have the time for yourself the first hour of your day. And then what? And then understanding your customer. So we talk about this. Number two, each customer is an avatar. So each customer has different needs. Each customer, if I can talk, has different wants, you guys. So it's your job to kind of figure it out. Okay, there shouldn't be a one size fit all script. And if you guys need to practice it in front of someone, I recommend you practice it in front of a colleague, or maybe I do it all the time in front of my dog. You guys should be able to have that talk track on point, depending on your customer avatar. And there are a lot of books that talks about like how people buy, right? Number three, have a plan. Have a plan, okay? Planning is huge when it comes to sales, especially this new year, how to start your year with a bang, okay? Write a plan. It doesn't have to be very concrete. It could be literally just something that you want to do for the whole year, okay? So, be obviously realistic about it. Don't write something that's fake that you don't think that's going to happen. You're just like, a dream and a plan is so different. It's okay to dream, but dream practically sometimes. It has to make sense with your goals. It has to make sense with what you're trying to do in the future, okay? And then learn how to pivot, okay? Pivot, you guys. Pivoting is huge, because now not everything is going to work out the way you want it to be, okay? But as a person, as a sales, whatever you want to call yourself, it is your job to not just give up. It is your job to learn how to pivot, to have backups after backups, to have all these different ideas when things doesn't go the way you thought the conversation would go. And, have some grace, okay? Don't beat yourself up when things doesn't work out, because what that does, it allows you to basically create a new process. And the great thing about sales process It's a process. Okay, you can change the process. Okay, it is something that's changeable every single year, every 6 months, whatever that looks like for you. uh, and then last but not least, for my seasoned, maybe you're new to learn about social media. Don't be afraid of the technology that we have now available to us. Okay, and when, I don't know if you guys remember, back then, MapQuest, printing a map, and now we have everything on our phone to our disposal. And I want you guys, and then future is just going to be even bigger, AI, you name it, right? This is not the first time you're hearing this, okay? But I am robots. I mean, yeah, just watch news. Elon Musk, he's on top of it, right? But one thing's never going to change, okay? And for those of you, and I've heard this before when I was in spine, because when I first started in spine, I think 5 years into it, robotics got introduced, meaning robots are doing the person's back, right? But there's still need for human intuition. Okay, what we have because of our hearts and our brain is never ever going to be substituted or by a robot. I mean, I don't know if I said that right. So no one can substitute you, because there's only one. You can reprogram, you can this, you can do that, but you have the brain and you have the intuition, you have the heart. And I want you guys to not be afraid of the technology that's coming up. And learn about it, understand it. And I think for me, my whole life is anything that actually makes me feel kind of scared or intimidated by, I learn it. I learn it because I know that you know there's no reason to hide out, there's no reason to be fearful over something that you don't know until you know. So I think like knowledge is power. And if I could leave you guys one last thing, just be open to the future, the possibilities, try new things, be open to suggestions, be open to what other people, I mean, I have calls with my coworkers of like, hey, how did you sell this, how did it work for you? Be open to strategies. Okay, there's no one size fits all. Today is episode 29 of the Device Diaries. My name is Gaida Lovetes, and I am the founder and creator of the Device Diaries. Today, we talked about New Year's resolution, how to start your year with a bang. I really hope that you guys took notes. I really hope that this helps out those that are struggling right now. I really hope that this kind of motivates those that are just wanting that extra push in the beginning of the year. And know this, that, you guys, life is changing. Okay, there are big things that are happening right now, all right, in the world. But one thing that's not going to be, one thing's never going to change. You have the ability to take care of yourself, to take care of your mental health, to reprogram your mind, to take care of your day. The only thing you can control in this world is what you do every day. Okay, there's nothing constant in this world but change. And what I want you guys to think about is this: how do you adapt to those changes and how do you grow from it? Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. My name is Gaida, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, everyone.